Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we are so excited to have everybody here and joining us for our first show of 2021.
Yes, Happy New Year.
It seems like it seems a little bit longer than 2 weeks. We only took 2 weeks off, and it was a great 2 weeks. I feel like it was a good time to recharge. The market kind of closed out. It was great. Got our last transactions done. But it's already at that point where everything is like booking back up. And the other day, you and I were in, if you'll believe it, Fate.
Yeah, and, Fate, Texas.
We were actually showing
Fate.
It's so far out there. Showing one set of clients and turned around and got a text message from another set of clients. And we're able to show them also at the exact same time out in that direction. So it all kind of worked out perfectly. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
'Tis the season. And that was that second showing was the one that gave us the idea for our second segment.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
And in the second segment, what we're going to talk about is, given the pandemic and the way everything's kind of shaping up and you don't have to go into the office, where would you work? And so we're going to explore opportunities and options that are within this geographic area. So it's a good time.
Yeah. So how was your holiday?
Uneventful and safe.
Good.
So it was fine. It's just, I think it's uneventful is about the only way I can describe it.
I think it's one of those years where this year we were uneventful in 2020 so that we can be eventful in 2021.
Okay, I will go with that. And I am so ready for the vaccine, and I am so ready to get back out and mix and mingle. I think at this point, I am really ready for the gym.
I'm ready for the gym, and I am ready to be back. My friends are all huggers, and that has been the hardest part about seeing being able to see people. And even though people come over into my backyard and hang out, or we go to somebody else's backyard and hang out, not being able to actually have that physical interaction it's really tough.
I think one of the things I'm ready to change when it all comes through in 2021 for the show is I really think having a guest is an exciting thing. I think it's a really good time for viewers and for us to kind of like bring information that's really interesting. And you did a great job. We're going to do a Zoom next week, and it'll be great. Yeah,
we have Nicole Womack and Jennifer. I don't know. I knew my mind was going to go blank.
Sorry,
I did
put
that.
him on the spot.
Anyway, they are with a solar company that sells and installs solar systems for homes, and so it's going to be a really interesting topic that we haven't hit on yet.
And I think it's amazing, and I think this is how we come up with so much of our second segments is what do we experience out and about. And I think it's kind of kismet is that I was showing last night, and the house that I was showing actually has solar on it. And so I've got a whole list of questions that we kind of came up with last night. And so it's a really interesting situation. I'm like, well, this is how we do this show. We figure out what is happening and parlay it into this and bring it to you.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of looking over the inventory. And we decided that we wanted to make the first two homes of the year really amazing, and I think we did a great job.
Yeah, these are two really extraordinary homes, completely different in style, completely different in, I think how people live, but they are both just really exciting houses.
They're we won't describe them too much in this, but they are amazing. The owners have a lot of pride. They have a lot of skills in the homing section, and it turns out quality product for sure.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the first one.
Yep, the first one is going to be 5022 Pebblebrook Drive, and this is an amazing area of Dallas.
Yes.
It is called Rustwood Acres, and it's 4 cul-de-sacs, I believe, and 4, right?
It's 4 cul-de-sacs on the western side of Inwood Road, and then Rustwood Acres continues on the east side of Inwood Road all the way over to the tollway.
And it's just a nice little pocket of Dallas right there at Inwood and Royal. So again, really close to quite a bit, whether you're commuting and using the toll road or 635. But getting back down into the city is extremely easy. I live just to the... Where do I live? Oh, I live to the south of this. Sorry about that. It's like I'm looking on the map and I'm like, yes, I am just south, north of Walnut Hill. So I love the area. It's a great
really,
spot.
It is, and it was developed in 1962. Almost all of these lots are three-quarter of an acre or bigger. They have some deed restrictions in place where homes have to be at least 3,400 square feet in size. So it really kind of keeps the continuity of the neighborhood in terms of the level of house you have there. They go in price from $250 a square foot to $500 a square foot.
Ryan Strife had an amazing one that was on the market just on one of the cul-de-sacs on the same side of the street that sold last summer, and it was amazing. So again, keeping up with the tradition. This is a 5-bedroom, 4 full, 1 half bath, and it is amazing. This house is, I believe, the second owner, and this second owner has taken it to the studs, worked with some really acclaimed architects, both in the structure but also in the landscaping as well, to create this full house package. And it starts from the curb and it works its way all the way throughout this entire house.
It really does. Standing seam roof. You walk into these rooms and they've got the beamed ceilings, which I think just really give it an elegant touch. There's a combination of narrow hardwood flooring and then wide hardwood flooring, which was a really nice way for the current owners to kind of merge the old with the new, but still retain all of the charm.
One of the things I was telling Jason about this house is I feel like it has this elegance to it, but as we'll go through the pictures, you'll notice that it's so livable as well. There was a house that was in Bluffview off of Cherokee Trail that Garrett had that was amazing and quite similar to this. The way that the indoor and the outdoor has worked together, they've taken special consideration to the way that the house is sitting on the lot and tried to really incorporate the indoor-outdoor flow so that it just has that open, continuous feel.
And these are laminate cabinetry that is really exquisitely done. Quartzite countertops, some quartz countertops. The floor is a natural stone, and they've done some changes to the footprint of the house that really give you separation but openness. Like this goes back into a mud room here where there's a laundry room and another bedroom back there that would be a great nanny quarters or mother-in-law suite. Just really a wonderful layout.
And this is the second living room that we're looking at. You can see how it works back with the kitchen, and it also has a bar that looks in as well. It's a great combination space, and it's one of those really easy living spaces.
And a huge living room. I mean, look at the vault in those ceilings.
The
master. I didn't mean a living room. Look at the vault in those ceilings. It just is so spectacular.
And you'll notice that throughout this house, the beams that we are seeing in this house, I was impressed to know that these were actually original. And so what the current homeowner has done is they've either brought them up with paint or stain, just in a way to make it format much better. This house actually has a little seating area, as you can see here, that opens up to the outdoor space, and it is a really great space. We were told that the homeowner really loves to enjoy this space in the morning with coffee, and it has its own little desk, but also a little coffee bar around.
And these are all Marvin doors and windows that have been put in. It has foam insulation throughout, crawl space ventilation that includes a dehumidifier system, and then just the design of the rooms like this are really remarkable to me.
So what they've done right here, and this is amazing because this is difficult to see in here, but the skylights, I believe there are 3 skylights in here that just really allow so much natural light, and there's undermounting lighting, so they've really focused on this. This is one of the bedrooms at Jack and Jill's to the next, and you can see how these large windows give you great light, but the way that they've actually gone ahead and added the filtered pergola outside creates that shadow and light effect that doesn't overheat the room. Just works out really well.
And one of the really cool things that you noticed when we were there is that from these other sections of the house where the other bedrooms are, you've got this real openness that everybody can see out into the courtyard, but you really don't see into each other's bedrooms.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's done so well. And this is one of the additional living areas, an ancillary bedroom.
And this is the bedroom that's actually could be an au pair or a mother-in-law suite.
This is the one that's above the garage and has a really cool outdoor, really cool outdoor space with an outdoor kitchen, covered patio, the big fans, the fire pit at the end of the living space. It all just really gives this a great vibe.
And like Jeff was saying, this house has all of the elements that you want inside, but also all the elements that you want outside. Again, you can see here how much detail was taken with the architects to make this house and this outdoor space work so seamlessly together.
And Bonick Landscaping is the one that did all of the design work for the gardens and the outdoor space, and they've really done a great job of tying things together, still providing great access. Like you can see here, the walkway that comes from the outdoor living space over to the pool.
And one of the things that I think is really interesting is that this family knows that this is a house that has to be lived in. And so they have given really great care to adding a little playground area. And what I thought was really also interesting, I'm a little bit ahead, but we'll go back to this. And this is one of the seating areas that actually abuts the green space. So whether you need a little extra room for four-legged friends or whatnot, we've got it. But then this is the playground.
And done really, really well with the rubberized mulch, and it's just a very inviting home. So 5022 Pebblebrook Drive is a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 2-car garage home built in 1963, a little under 5,600 square feet, and it is priced at $2.845 million, which brings it in at the top of the price point over there at $508 a square foot, but is worth every penny of it.
Yep. And we want to say thank you so much to Daniel Marshall for allowing us to feature your home. It is amazing. So if you'd like to see this house and get a little more information about it, click on the link in the comments below, and it'll take you directly to it. And if you would like to see it, let us know. This is an appointment to meet, and we'd be happy to make that happen for you.
Absolutely.
Great home. It really is. It was one of the ones there's just been a couple of them. That was really a very special home.
Yeah, so. It really was.
What's the next one that we have?
So the next one we have is at 6517 Dykes Way, and this is a really great kind of very secluded neighborhood that is north of Forest Lane, south of LBJ. It's actually north of Churchill, which makes it even more of a secluded neighborhood. Lots of little dead-end streets there, so you don't get a lot of through traffic in it. Great convenience factor in terms of any of the shopping, all of that new Midtown development that they're doing where the old Valley View Mall is, that's going to be just right across the freeway from it. Great access to 635, the tollway going into downtown if that's where you happen to work, or even out to the north if you're at one of the corporate headquarters out in the Frisco market now.
So the other thing too is you can get really easily over to TI, or if you need to get up to the campuses that were State Farm or whatnot north, it's easy as well to commute that way. This house is really amazing. There's not a lot of times when we get to a house and the privacy is right there. It is from the call box to get into the house. It is amazing. This is the aerial view that will allow you to see that this house sits on this lot, and it is an oversized lot. It's almost 0.56 of an acre, and it actually has a front yard that is then behind that is a gate that creates this area that is the house and the driveway.
Yeah, talk about really creating a lot of privacy here. This owner has used commercial grade doors and windows throughout the home, and really done an amazing job of providing the right amount of light, but also like in this instance where they've got the really large windows in the lower portion and they've got the smaller windows in the upper. It gives a little, it's not like you're just like out in the world, but it gives you a little bit of division.
So the great thing about this house is that the homeowner was there to walk us through the home and gave us one amazing tour. And there's no way we're gonna be able to cover all of it, but it was amazing. And you could tell the ownership pride in the way that he had thought out everything from security to the energy efficiency to the way that the inside and outside work together. And it just all hit and made it for, I think there's 5 or 6 in this family. And it was really great the way that they could use the house. It didn't feel like a home where you wouldn't be able to like relax and put your feet up, but at the same time, you know that you could have a great event here. And one of the great events would be centered around a bar that has a little step down into it and is perfectly positioned both from the formal and into the family room. It's really amazing.
And really open up off to the kitchen. This is kind of a reverse view that shows you back into the dining room, and has a really spectacular Cantoni fixture that is it's apropos for that room.
And this actually, I called it the boardroom, but this is their dining room. There are 2 additional leaves that can be added to this table. And just so that you know, they have had 16 at this table for holiday dinners. So it will seat everyone. Going into the kitchen, it is an eat-in kitchen. And one of the amazing things about this is it has 2 islands. It has 2 fridges, 2 sinks, and 2 dishwashers. So if you're interested in a house or a kitchen that could be kosher, this is definitely one that would fit that bill for you.
And these cabinets, again, this is a printed laminate cabinetry that he had used in here, and it's got this really unique wood grain texture to it that just you don't really see anywhere else.
So upstairs, this is the master, and this master is enormous. And one of the things off of this is that there's also an office off of this large master, and there's also a workout gym. But right now what we're going to do is pivot, look at this bathroom, and the bathroom was as big as I've ever seen a bathroom.
It really was.
That is a steam shower, and can tell because of a little vent. But you have his and her toilets, his and her vanities, and you have a large tub that separates the 2. Not to mention the closet was one of the largest closets I've ever been in.
And the technology behind the home, I think, is really interesting as well, with the Control4 system, the Insteon lighting control, and then the universal device smart home control that can control any of your lighting or AV, security cameras, the pool equipment. He has the ability to raise and lower these outdoor screens that we'll get to in just a moment. I mean, talk about automated, it's there.
So downstairs you have the media room, which I thought was a really unique thing. Kind of gives you a way to have everybody downstairs with you, and this is an enormous outdoor seating area. I don't think it quite captures it in this picture how large it is, but you can see that they have the TV, the fire pit, and there are the shades that you can kind of see in that back picture. But those shades go all the way up probably 22 feet. They come down on all the sides, and you can see here that they had heaters that will allow them to really enjoy this year-round, he said.
Yeah, and you know, they said they had their New Year's Eve get-together outdoors here with the fire pit going, and it was, you know, I think it was 30-something degrees that night, and he said it was completely comfortable.
And those actual shows you the shades down there on the left-hand side, but those go up, and that's where you have your ping pong table. They have the grill. This also seats, we joked, I asked how many does that hot tub seat, and he said COVID 2, after COVID 16, so take that with a grain of salt. Really large pool, lots of seating area around it, green space. They have quite a few 4-legged friends that really enjoy and maximize this 0.561 of an acre. And as you can see here in the picture, bottom right-hand corner, there is a little 3-hole putting green.
Yeah, really, really well done home. 6517 Dykes Way, 6 bedroom, 6 full baths, 3 half baths, 1 3-car garage, built in 2009, a little over 7,700 square feet, and it's priced at $2.95 million, $416 a square foot. And it's such a remarkable home for that price point.
Yep, and we have to say thank you so much to Megan Stern for opening the house and putting us in contact with the homeowner and giving us a tour. It was amazing. And again, if you would like more information about this home, please click on the link below, and we'll be happy to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Great homes. We hope you really enjoyed them. We thought it was really amazing. It's hard in 5 or 6 minutes to really go through all of the upgrades, especially I feel like when we get into houses at this level, I feel like you and I could probably do 5 or 6 minutes per bedroom.
Right.
But we did a whole house instead.
Yeah.
So
if you'd like to, if you'd like to know more about it, certainly reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to share what we have about it with you, and we will be right back.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
And welcome back to the second segment of episode 114 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
And I was just told by the producer that I need to apologize because my phone was going off the entire time. So if you heard that buzzing, I apologize. I'll set it down now. Thank you.
It happens.
All right, 2021 off with a bang.
That's right.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about where would you live if you didn't have to go to the office.
Which is going to be a reality, I think, for a while. A lot of companies have already said, we're not opening our offices back up until, August of 2021.
And I have to tell you this, the reason why we decided to put this into play is because we have a client that is coming in town next Monday, and he's from San Diego, and he has traveled across Arizona, Denver, Minnesota, and he has looked in Atlanta and he has decided that Dallas is the place for him. He doesn't have to actually live in California anymore for work. And so this is the place for him. And so we kind of thought, well, if you didn't have to live anywhere, where would you live? Mm-hmm. And what would you do? So we're going to look at different homes that are available and talk about what's good and what's bad, what you need to know. And what would be the first one that we would start with?
Well, I think, one of the first options is if you did want to live in an urban environment and you wanted to live somewhere that is kind of maintenance free and has views, a high rise might be a great option for you.
I think that, we saw a huge trend here in Dallas as people in Plano and Frisco, that's just two, but around the DFW area decided that they wanted to move into more urban areas, and even Frisco now has a really great urban area, but these urban areas are allowing people to have less maintenance and less chores, if you'll say, around the house. Maybe they're at that point in their life where they don't need that, but yet they don't need anything else, and these make sense for them.
They do, and a lot of the high rises, mid rises, that kind of environment, because of where they're predominantly located, you get great walkability. You have great accessibility. You have great access to mass transit. You have great access to shared ride, whether it's Uber or Lyft or whatever. You've got all of that right there at your doorstep. And so, we had one client that moved here from New York City this last year that doesn't even own a car.
Yep. And we put her right in the middle of the most urban space ever. She loves it. So the other thing too is that if you're looking at some place that is more of a high rise, a lot of times the amenities are quite a bit more. So amenities include a concierge. Sometimes they have gyms. Quite often they have really nice pools these days. And so the services that also surround those could be anywhere from dry cleaning, dog walking assistance. So there's a lot more that these properties now have for you.
Yeah, and most of one of the great things about living in urban environments, especially in some of the newer high-rise buildings, is going to be that you're going to have access to high-speed internet, which, a lot of people had high-speed internet set up, but in the way that they used it at the time, it was really for just downloads. And when you have Zoom meetings and that type of thing, you not only need to have the download speed, you need to have the upload speed. And, certain types of internet doesn't provide that.
Yeah. So one of the things we'll move to the next house would be a lake house. And so it's really interesting is that last year in 2020, Ebby announced that the partnership ownership of a brand new Cedar Creek Lake brokerage down there. So even Ebby is realizing how important it is to get involved with that. And so the lake houses come with a lot of extras. Again, you're going to have all of your outdoor activities, whether it's wakeboarding, kayaks, it's all there for you. Again, we step down though in the social aspect of that.
True. There, we had a lake house on Cedar Creek for a really long time, and your socialization is always available to you, but it's just in it's a much slower pace. People where, my friends won't just show up and knock on my door right now.
Right.
And many times in that kind of lake country environment, there's all of a sudden there's the boat coming up, showing up at your boat dock, and people, people getting out. Hey, what's going on? So,
The other thing too that I noticed that was interesting about the lake houses within my sphere, there were 3 different couples that actually at the beginning of 2019 spring actually went out and stayed for a very long time at their lake houses, as everything wasn't quite sure how it was going to settle and shake down, and just really kind of had some R&R, but we're still able to, if had to, commute in, because it's typically hour or 2 away for if they had an in-person meeting. But they did have really good internet out there as well.
yeah, they do now. It was funny when we had our house down there was when the DSL was, kind of the hot internet connection that was happening. And
Oh, is that hot? Was that hot?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was hot then. I think
Interesting.
we had a 1.4 meg connection at the
Woo!
time.
Everybody slow down.
Yeah. But,
God.
at the time it was fast, and that was, you didn't have all the complexity that websites have now. And you certainly didn't require the bandwidth because, Skype was barely on the horizon at that moment. So,
Yep. So the next one that we're going to move into, and this one actually came out from our showing last week, and that one is acreage. And we're actually talking about more of a rural acreage, and that would be something that's over 5 acres. And I think that is one of those spaces where it really begins to change the use and what an actual home feels like on that much space.
and this was a gated community, although there were probably not more than, I'm going to say, 25, 30 houses, 25, 30 lots in there.
Yeah.
But everybody had a minimum of 5 acres. And they were, there were building restrictions that were in place, so you had to, have it at least a certain size of home. Just they wanted to kind of keep everything with a little continuity.
Yep. And I think the other thing too, that when you get into something that has this much space, what it allows you to do is really explore some of your hobbies. So the one that we showed out there was a really nice, brand new construction, modern ranch style home that was really well done, but it had a detached 3-car high lift garage that also had a really great living quarters in it. And so it kind of allowed someone to do woodworking, to have metal shops. If you want to do ceramics, there's just a lot more. And then if you're into having that outdoor space for gardening or just letting the kids out, this is really one of those things. And I think that the family began to look at it from that standpoint, knowing that the kids could run and just run out there, which is really nice.
And it was heavily wooded, and you get a lot of that serenity when you go out and get into that kind of environment. You many times have a lot better privacy than it's kind of it's again different than what you might have your neighbor call and come over, but in terms of there's nobody really else in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not so much as a destination as like the lake is going to be a destination. Someone's going to want to come out there and visit you. And I mean, they'll visit you, but it's going to be different on a much different. One of the other things that's quite a bit different too can be utilities. So utilities, you could actually have your own lateral lines. You could have your own well.
Yeah, this house had an aerobic septic system.
So the last thing that I would say to think about is that you can
Stay
get
away
Aggies.
from the really green parts of the yard.
We did find this. We did. I was like, it's so green in the middle of winter. So ag exemptions. Ag exemptions are available out there. One of the things that is now included in ag exemptions here in Texas is bees. So the house that we were actually showing had 5 acres, and 4 of the acres were ag exempt because of the bees. There was nothing else on there. So
Which the exemption lowers your taxes quite dramatically.
yeah, it does. Like when we pulled them, we were kind of like, that doesn't make sense. Is it what's going on here? So the agent was able to help explain that.
Yeah.
The last thing would be to think about your high-speed internet access when you get rural. Sometimes it's great because they're laying brand new fiber wires. Other times, if it's super rural, it can be a time when it might be much more difficult.
Yeah, could be.
So, things to
But
think.
there are, like, there's satellite options and all kind of microwave options and stuff like that. So you can
It's
get
there.
internet access pretty much anywhere. It's just how how heavy on it are you going to be demanding?
How fast and how
Hotspots
expensive?
also. I know my little brother and his wife had built a house in Idaho, and while they were going through the building process, he wanted to have cameras on the property so he could watch from here what was going on, and so he got a Verizon hotspot that's a 4G cellular hotspot, and he had it mounted in a little trailer that they had out there, and so they had all their wireless cameras hooked up to it, and it worked perfectly for what they needed.
And it's funny because now that you're saying that, they're a perfect example of people that don't have to, because of the pandemic, have to live here any longer. Kids left, and their jobs don't require them to be here, and so they kind of are getting a head start on what they want to do in retirement.
Yeah,
So
it's really been fun to watch.
it is. Well, we hope that you found this interesting. We hope it like kind of challenged you to think about where you live, and if anything you're living in changes, we'd love to know about it.
We'd be happy to help you with it too.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us today. It was really fun to get back in the studio, and we wish you all a very, very happy new year.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.